Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles. Got my itch. And it is time for another clutch update. You know what's cool about these clutch updates? Man, for so long we were super stiff in here. Not really. You want to see super stiff? Go back to watch Olympus episode 1 and you'll see super stiff, sciencey Matt talking to you like the world's worst teacher that nobody would ever want to hear. And then we really loosened up, and then we loosened up probably too far. But, we do these clutch updates, it kind of just happens, and it's a different style of video, which we're going to be bringing you more of. Our goal is to expand our video library for you, right? With that, you get kind of even more relaxed Matt, which is going to get way more relaxed than just by the middle of next year. You're going to get super relaxed Matt with diarrhea of the mouth. If you think I say weird shit now, just wait, it's coming. I mean, we're not even worried about what I'm wearing. I'm not like, hey, I got to wear the brand clothes. I got to do all this. I got to do all that. We'll still do that most for regular videos, but these is kind of whatever I got. I don't have a hat on today. You see my shiny spot on top of my head if we ain't careful. I don't have one. I still have my hair for now. But it's fun. It's a little bit liberating, right? So, and then it's, then we'll go to Patreon and have some fun over there too. And some of that goes off the rails. The other day we were talking about stuff kids say today versus the stupid crap we said back in the 90s, and I'm old enough, even the 80s a little bit. So, just whatever, and then snakes and whatever the hell else comes up. So make sure and join us there. That's my little ad for the day. But we're going to go ahead and get on this clutch update. Now, this clutch did not do perfect. We did lose one. You are going to lose babies on occasion. It's going to happen. We'll lose some that don't even get updated too, because, we may have updated the clutch and then lose a baby randomly, or even due to our own error. I mean, it's just, shit's going to happen, y'all. But unfortunately, we lost it. Unfortunately, we lost a cool, and we'll let you know which one that is. But let's go ahead and start with what the pairing was. This was a GHI Mojave to a Blitz male. Now, let me see something. Can I... Oh, sorry, buddy. Got to block in there a little bit. I'll pull this dude out. Don't you bite me. Here he is. This is our Blitz male right there. So that is the male. That is the father of this clutch, our original Blitz line. Man, I'm telling you guys, you got a little bit of scales right there. Just a little bit. What'd you do? Did you get some scales stuck on you? We'll just have to put you need a little bit of moisture on those, though. So here's the thing with Blitz. I'm going to challenge you guys if you're getting into Blitz. I'm going to issue you a challenge. I want you to look, whether you're doing Blitz, Hurricane, whatever that's Blitz-like, Trick, I don't care what one it is. The challenge is this. Don't just buy a Blitz or a Hurricane or a Trick. I believe, from what I've seen, this is one of those genes that the quality is going to make a huge difference. You're going to be much happier with a really nice line of Blitz versus some of the much lower expression. They're going to pass on differently too. So make sure when you're buying your Blitz, buy from me. And if you don't buy from me, buy from an animal you can see, or you can see good pictures of that you feel good about the quality. Don't just buy Blitz because it's in there, okay? Trust me. There are times you may have to, depending on the genetic combinations, because there are a few things that the Blitz isn't going to be super exposed in. I can show you Blitz Champagne that are like that. You can see it if you know what you're looking for, but it's not going to be super evident. So then you're going to have to buy from somebody you trust that has a good line of Blitz. But I'm just going to tell you, I'm not going to say any names, but if you're going to get into Blitz, make sure you're buying the right quality animals, or you're going to be a little bit disappointed with your production. Just going to throw that out there. So let's go ahead and get rolling. We didn't hit the Blitz super hard on this. Unfortunately, we had 5 babies. I would show you the GHI Mojave. I forgot about that. I should cover that. This was her first year breeding. She took us a while to get to size. I love that snake. She got to size. We paired her. Everything went well. She went gravid. She laid eggs. After getting the eggs, she did not go back on food readily. And then she just dropped one day. I am really curious if we didn't maybe have a retained slug or something like that going on, because she'd been a very healthy snake up until we decided to breed her. So that is probably on us. And if you breed animals, you're going to run the risk of inducing medical issues or fatal issues. It sucks. Nobody likes it. Everybody should be doing what they can to avoid having those issues. But some things like that you just can't avoid. And I know somebody's going to be on there being like, listen, humans die in childbirth, okay? We can't prevent all of that today. every type of animal that passes on young through some type of opening in its body will occasionally have complications that are going to run the risk of death. It's what it is. It's just part of it. It's an unfortunate part of it. And I think we ran into some type of complication from her passing eggs, whether it was a slug that we didn't notice inside, or whether it was something internally that ruptured or ripped from her passing those eggs. That I do not know. Yes, we could have done a necropsy, but what are we really going to learn? That the snake died from childbirth? That's pretty damn obvious because of how it went. So there's really not a lesson in there that I can really take. Like, oh, well, that's what did it. It's just, one of those bummers. Now I got to start all the way over on this project. That sucks. Please don't mind the beeping. We have a probe that sometimes wigs and comes on and stops, but we're monitoring that. I'll need to swap it out. So let's go to showing you the snakes. First one is 222701. Stop that. It's 89.6 if you're curious. Don't film my butt. Oof. Okay, 222701. This is this little guy right here. Now these are not very old at all. So you're not going to see large weights on these. Not at least I don't think so. I mean, these were just laid at the very, very end of June. So they would have, hatched and had their first shed and just, they've been fed a few meals and that's about it. So 70 grams that you're seeing, 69, that's about what we'd expect. So no, you're not going to see huge snakes. We're trying to get caught up on these. So they're going to get smaller and smaller as we go. But this is just a really nice GHI. It's very dark. It is a male. I don't think Blitz is necessarily in here. It's not one we labeled as a Blitz. I'd expect it to be busier. And this is one of those situations where you could look and be like, well, that might be it right there. Or that could be, or it's pretty close pattern here. It could be a low expression Blitz. That right there tells me it very likely may be a low expression Blitz. Okay? It might be. Here's a kicker. This, if it is a low expression Blitz, is not up to the quality that I would deem acceptable for what I would sell as a Blitz. This is it, man. And I don't think Blitz is one of those things that low quality always produces high quality. You'll see one later that I think is from the same parent. So, but it could be. This could be a GHI Blitz. What do you think, Caleb?
I don't know. It's possible. If it is, it's not one that I myself would pick up either.
What about just as a GHI?
I would. It is a nice GHI.
So again, we're on the same. It's gaining weight in front of your eyes. We're on the same page. This is one of two things: either a really nice GHI or a low expression GHI Blitz. Either way, I would take that flyer on the nice GHI, but I would not request the amount of money for this animal that would be required to purchase a GHI Blitz.
Even if it was just a GHI low expression Blitz, it has still got all the qualities of a nice GHI that I would want.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So let me put this one back. The next one would have been 03, I believe. No, what would have the next one been? 02. Yes. Sorry, that was number 1. 02 was a GHI Blitz. However, I told you we lost one from this clutch. And that, unfortunately, is the one we lost. So we're going to go ahead and skip to 222703. And this one is just a Mojave. So we were really wanting that GHI Blitz Mojave. That was what we were really after. I'll go ahead and spoil it for you. We didn't hit that anywhere, but we did not hit any normals. We hit pretty good, so I can't complain too much. A really nice snake, but just a Mojave. I'm not seeing Blitz in this at all. Just straight Mojave. I'm going to leave this here for the next film. By the way, this is a female. So I'm going to leave that right here. I'm going to show you why I don't see Blitz in there. And again, Blitz is one of those genes. This is what I think happens. If you really look, you'll start to convince yourself sometimes. Starting to try to twist there, a little bit there. What about that, man? Maybe that's Blitz. Oh, right there it is. See that spot there? I bet that, no, that's not Blitz. I'll show you why. We got, the next one up is 222704. It's over here in my special rack. Oh, yeah. Now, this is a Mojave Blitz. That's why I want to have both of them out here, just so you can see the difference. I mean, look at that. It's night and day, right? The darks are darker and richer. The eyelets are way different. The way it's digitized in there instead of smooth through these eyelets is a telltale sign too. You can see it trying to blow out, trying to twist, trying to do all those things, really twisting there. It's just different. You know, we had that little spot with a circle here. Maybe convince yourself, bam, 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 bam. It's a totally different look. That is a Mojave Blitz. This is a Mojave that some people who are pairing stuff with Blitz are going to try to tell themselves is Blitz by looking for the most minor of sign. It is not. It's just a Mojave. This is another reason why when you buy Blitz, make sure you know what you're seeing and make sure you get high quality. I would not hesitate to put this Blitz, this Mojave Blitz, into my breeding program any day of the week. Caleb, what about you?
Oh, I agree. I knew from when that thing came out, we talked about how just stunning this animal was. And we ended up hatching a lesser Blitz, and
yes,
it was hands down not as good as this. This is an absolute stunning animal. The Blitz was still a great quality in that lesser, but the Mojave Blitz like this is just stunning.
Yeah, and the lesser Blitz we'll get to in another video. It's a different clutch. But we didn't even get the Tri gene we were really after. So one could say, well, you didn't get what you were looking for, and that'd be kind of true. But this was so cool, and it's such a nice example of what I was looking for, that even without the Blitz or the GHI in there, this thing made its way to my holdback rack because it is a female. We're keeping this, so you're not going to see it released. But I just wanted to kind of really share that with you. You know, you get a lot of floaters in there too, like there, you know, there it's broken and trying to floating. There's a perfect example of what you're looking for all through. Where when you run the straight lesser, and what you're going to try to convince yourself with a twist, you don't really get many floaters. There's one, and that's one of the problems. Is you can look, oh, there's a little floater, and you can see those things that people will say, hey, this is what you look for in a Blitz, and you can start to be like, oh, I think it's there. But when you have the one to really compare to, it's just night and day. You know, it's just night and day. So this is what you're after. This is just a nice lesser. Let me put these guys up. I know, girly. I know. Here you go. Food days tomorrow. You're fine. They are a little bit like, because they're getting fed tomorrow. And then, last but certainly not least, is this one here. This is a female, and that, guys, is just straight Blitz, and you're not going to find better. Like, your Blitzes, you should not have to go, Blitz looks like kind of like a normal, or Blitz isn't really expressive. Horse shit. It's very expressive. That's a Blitz. That's how they're supposed to look. This is great. Now, this is exceptional, actually, for what the morph is and what the gene is. Like, you're not... Man, you ain't gonna find a better one out there. Like, if I needed a single gene Blitz, I'd put that in my pocket in a heartbeat. But this gives you an idea of what a really good one looks like, as opposed to some of the things that I've seen on MorphMark and other places where you just kind of go, oh, okay. And the reason I bring that up is it's not to bag on anybody or anything like that, but there's this idea out there. You know, there's some genes we don't know some things about. Blitz is one of them. Is Blitz and Trick and Hurricane the same? Sorry, Hans, we got to discuss it. I know you don't want to. Is Blitz, Trick, and Hurricane the same? The true answer is, you ready for it? I'm going to tell you. I don't know. And neither does anybody else as far as I know for sure. It needs to be paired together. I do it myself, but I don't have any Hurricane. And the thing about it is, there's this thought process out there for people who do think maybe it's the same or maybe it's a Lilac. And I'm kind of in the camp that I would bet that's probably at minimum a Lilac. I would bet that at minimum, your Hurricane and Blitz are as similar as, say, your Black Pastel and your Cinnamon. I would bet that that is the case. And you can throw Trick in there too if you want. Do I know for sure? I don't. Just look at it. That's all you really got to do though, right? The similarities are shared. But there's this thought process in there that I've heard from people that goes something to the effect of, well, the nicer ones are Hurricane, and the ones that aren't as nice are Blitz. No, Again, look at this. I would put that up against any hurricane you're going to see for single gene any day of the week and twice on Sunday. I mean, the pattern is super busy, super close, super blown out, super twisted all through. You got the onion ringing going on, bow, 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 boom, 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 all through this thing. This thing is as good as it gets, man. It is what you're looking for. It's going to wonky all your shit up just like you want Blitz to do. It's going to increase that color saturation in that black. It is awesome. So, Blitz is not less than Hurricane. There's good Blitz out there. The reason I think you see that in America is there ain't anybody who's going to pay to take a shit version of a Hurricane and ship it from Germany, okay? It's not going to happen. Would you pay to ship? No, you won't. As it's bred more, you're going to see less expression and good expression. But if you line breed it, whether you're using Hurricane, Trick, or Blitz, again, we're going to assume they're the same or allelic for this conversation. It's not a guarantee. If you selectively breed, you pick your lines well, and you only keep and hold the right individuals for breeding or purchase the right individuals for breeding, what you're going to eventually have is a really super nice stuff. If you pick low quality, you're going to have low quality. And that's not to be an ass, okay? That's just how this works. The old phrase from the old guys back in the day was always quality in, quality out. And that rings true. There are certain genes it doesn't matter as much in. This is not one of them. How would you say, you've seen a lot of Blitz and a lot of Hurricane. You're on the scrolling the old Facebook and shit more than I am by far, Caleb. How would you put this compared to the Hurricanes you've seen quality-wise?
I'm trying to formulate my words to not start shitstorms because I have a strong opinion. But I will say, when you're talking quality, right, because that's what we're talking about right here, not whether they're the same or not, I would say this hands down matches anything Hurricane that he has put out.
And that's not he. I mean, it's anybody. Like, this isn't supposed to be a, Olympus versus a guy in Germany. And I'm not trying to start that. I'm really not. And if it's coming off that way, let me apologize now. I'm not trying to start any beef at all. Fuck, I ain't got time for that kind of fucking childish juvenile bullshit. To be blunt, we are all out of junior high. We should be able to express our opinions without it in a, my daddy can kick your daddy's ass argument like we're on the playground in school. Let's be adults here. The point I want to make is the quality that can be had with Blitz. And I don't want Blitz being slept on because, Hurricane. I'm telling you guys, you're going to be just as happy going this route. And truth be told, and I think those folks over there in Germany will like this, let's, for the argument's sake, say it's the same gene. Okay? Let's say it is. Let's just say it's the same. I'm going to tell you something even crazier, okay? Let's say it's the same. And again, I'm not saying it is. For this argument, let's say it's the same. You should still keep your Blitz and Hurricane line separate. Okay? The reason for that is, if we would have done that with other things much, much better, say Banana and Coral Glow, at this point in time, well, they would be the same gene. Had we kept the lines separate, they'd have a different look, even though they're the same gene. I'm of the mind that Black Pastel and Cinnamon, if you tested it genetically, would probably be the same damn thing. They look different. You can identify them differently because the lines have been kept so different for so long. And the only reason we've done that is because the supers turned into a kink shit show most of the time. So they didn't get crossed. Your Lessers and Butters, there's people like, I can tell the difference. But the fact of the matter is people were throwing Lessers to Butters 10 years ago to make bells. And those bells were throwing Lessers and Butters. And nobody knows what the hell it is now. The name is interchangeable. I do it myself because you really cannot tell the difference. You may be able to tell the difference in your own line of what you use for breeders because this female looks like this and this female's babies kind of look like this. But across the board through the country, you can't tell the difference. If we maintain our lines separately with Blitz, Hurricane, and Trick, there will be a visual difference, even if it's the same thing. Slightly, maybe one does more twisting, maybe one does a little more pattern arboration, maybe one has a little darker darks than the other. So it should be maintained separately. I'm not trying to say it's all the same, and whether it's the same or not in that aspect, then truly actually doesn't even matter. But the idea that Hurricane is a nicer Blitz, that I do have an issue with, because I can make this all fucking day long. This is what my Blitz looks like almost every time. within this range. So there's that. And that's because if it doesn't, I don't even count it and we throw that out, right? And that's my point I want to make. So anything you want to add, Caleb?
Nope.
Okay, was that too hard? I'm not really trying to start shit. And if I was like, oh, what you're talking about, I'm like, oh God, I hope I'm not trying to, because that's not my goal. My goal is just to make a point of Blitz can be super high quality, and it should all be super high quality. All right, guys, by the way, this one is a female, and this one is going to not stay with me, so we will be partying with some of that Blitz stuff, including the Blitz Lesser Caleb mentioned earlier, should it survive. And, this thing still has weight to gain before we would do that. Its current weight is... show you guys a trick. I can zero the scale. If you take the weight off, it'll still give you the current weight. It just gives it to you negative 71 grams. So it's got a little ways to go still. Just super, super excellent little baby. All right, guys, that's all I got. We're going to slide over to Patreon.